Hey everybody, it's been a while. I'm officially back. I bought a new camera. Yes, if you didn't know, and you probably already know, I lost my previous camera in some very strange accident that I won't mention right now because it was just a giant fail on my part. And I bought myself a new camera, full HD, and it's blue. It's not black this time, it's blue. I don't know why that would matter in the slightest, and it doesn't matter in the slightest. I just feel like taking up time by saying it's blue. If you see any changes in the video quality or the audio quality, the lighting maybe, it's because, well, it's a new camera, so there's nothing I can do about it. We just need to get used to it and go through this together, the hard times and the hardships and... yeah, that's my announcement. We have a new camera.
Enough about the camera.
Today, I'll be teaching you something different, okay? I won't be teaching you a specific move. I'll be teaching you an infinite amount of moves. By that I mean I'm going to be teaching you great ways, techniques, variables that you can modify when you're creating variations, okay? You can check out my site if you want to learn why variations are so important, but today I'll just leave it at that. I'm going to be using an extremely simple move to teach you how to do variations. I'll use it as an example. You can check out the video right here. I'll teach you how to do it, and let's just get to it, okay? You can apply these techniques to any other footwork move and just be creative, and I'll help you with that. Let's go. The first thing I enjoy modifying is the positioning. I'm going to do this really quickly because it's really not that difficult. So if I take the kick out as an example, positioning would be, you know, the difference of this would be like this, you know? So that's all positioning is. The next thing I like to modify is the pattern, okay? So if you look at the kick out itself, it looks kind of frontal, alright? So I'm doing it face to my opponent or to the public or whatever I want. So what I'd like to do is trying to complexify this a little bit, create different patterns. So if I look closely with the kick out, how can I create a pattern? Let's say I kick out here. How can I make a pattern, a circular or even squarish pattern? I thought about it, and all I had to do when I was coming back, come back like this, change hands, kick out again. Do this again, the other way, and I'm basically changing positions each time, which creates a different pattern than the normal pattern. Variable that I like modifying is the levels, okay? So by levels, I mean, you know, on your back, normal footwork level, there's a top rock level, there's air level. Air level is usually anything like handstand, but it can also just be like when you don't have that many parts of your body on the floor when you're dangling in the air, you know? So for the air level, it's pretty simple to think of something. Instead of simply kicking out, I'm going to kick out into the air. So it'll do a quick kick out, burst, and I'll come back. So bam, alright? Say that again, bam, bam, and I do it all over again. For a lower level, okay, since it's kind of difficult to think of one to do on your back, I'm sure it's possible, it's entirely possible. But I'll be showing you one that you can do on your bottom, alright, on your butt. It's very simple, once again, it's just 1, 2, you know? So it's a different level, right? So you can get into it by, I don't know, you're doing your normal kick step. I said kick step, I meant kick out. And you get into this one, you come back, air, you know? And I don't know, you switch patterns while doing air. Everything is modifiable. Next, and yeah, by the way, it's darker outside now because my battery ran out while I was recording and I had to go recharge my battery, so yeah, now it's a little bit darker. But anyways, next up is a little thing that I like calling decomposition. It doesn't work for every move, but it works particularly well for this one because its steps, alright, which are these, can be decomposed into smaller steps. Alright, so if I look closely, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, or more like 1, 2, 3, and then 4. I can decompose it by using one leg at a time. That's how I'm going to decompose it, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So my inner leg comes first, my inner leg comes first. And then I'll do 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right? That's it, decomposed. I can also do everything still. You know, I can still change and make different patterns. I can still, you know, go into the air and stuff like that. This is where it gets a little bit more fun. So now I have a decomposed variation, alright? Which looks like this. What else can I do from this variation? Now I'm about to create a variation of a variation, which makes the move look completely different. And that's what I love about creating variations, is that you can create a completely different move. Alright, so I'm gonna analyze this 1 and 2 and. So I have many steps. I have to think that each step I can do something on it. I can do something different. Alright? And I'm gonna be doing something different at this point. So what I thought was, well, I could just switch, back, and switch, you know. Switch, back, and switch. You can do that. I thought that that looked a little bit too boring. It's not necessarily boring, it's just there are better ways to do it. So I could do 1, and here I could straighten out my entire body. 2 and 3. I know I didn't count well, but alright. So then when you do it fast, it looks interesting. A powerful tool when creating variations is to use concepts that you already know about to enhance your movements, okay? So, for example, the hook. Alright, the hook, if you remember well, it's just you hook one leg around the other one. If I apply this to the kick out, alright, I'll try to kick out, and I'm wondering, how am I going to do a hook? How am I going to put a hook in this? Well, I'm going to hook my left leg around my right one, so when I kick out, it does boom, and back. Over here, boom, and then back. I can also kick out, I don't know, like this. Or for example, again, when I was doing the variations that I was talking about from the decompose, like this, you know? Instead of just kicking out there, I could hook, come back, alright? So hooks can be used a lot. Whether you're adding steps or removing steps, you can always do it with less, you know? When I was decomposing, I was adding more steps into it that would go along with the usual steps. I can also take out all the steps, or do it in a way that my body is more stationary than usual, where I don't use as many members of my body, alright? So, for example, instead of kicking out, I could really just kick out my knees, like that, and back. It doesn't look like much if you do it alone, but if you do it in a chain of variations, it can look pretty dope, you know? I really didn't feel like explaining this one because I thought it was pretty self-explanatory, but I'll do it anyways, okay? It's speed, alright? That's something that you can modify. It won't really like change your variation that much, it's just speed, but it can lead to interesting results when you're in your sets or when you're freestyling. Okay, so speed, it's really not that hard to understand. You're going slow, you know, you're going faster. That's it, okay? You can mess around with that and have fun with that too. It's also possible to modify the angle, alright? So you can change the angle. By this, I mean that it's not as much as changing the pattern. Changing the pattern is also a different way of changing the angle. But changing the angle is more, you want to stay in the same pattern, but just, I don't know how to explain it, just look. Alright, this is a nice angle. I can go at it in a different angle towards the back. Alright, 1, back, 2. I can go towards the side. Maybe I can do an air on the side, you know? Like that. Still back to the original angle. Angle, angle. Finally, I'm going to show a variation that I made like right just now. Alright, like right now, because I kind of felt like it. You know, I was just suddenly hit by inspiration and it didn't look that difficult, so I thought I'd share it with you guys and girl. So I'm gonna kick out towards my left, okay, which should be your right. Kick out. Now I'm gonna do a twist, alright, because twists and spins are also very useful when creating variations, alright? So this, now I'm gonna spin. I'm going to come back in, I'm going to kick out again. And I can spin again, come back in, kick out again, alright? Notice that I'm also varying the angles and the positions of my kick out. In the beginning I was kicking out like this. In the end I was sometimes kicking out toward the side, alright? Which is also something you can do, you know? Towards the side, that's just a change in angle and position. So, yeah, that was just one that I just made up right now for everybody. I hope this video gave you a general understanding of what variations are and different factors that you can use, different variables that you can modify when creating variations. I know I just showed you how to do it with the kickout, but do understand that you can apply these variables to almost any footwork move, okay? There are, of course, some footwork moves that are harder to apply these variables on, but I'm sure that you'll find your way if you try. Now, this isn't really homework, but if you want, you can try to put this into full effect by creating one variation of the kick out yourself. It's really not that difficult. I showed you like, you know, numerous variations. I could have showed you more, but you know, I don't want this to be too long, and I think you already have a good understanding of how it goes. So, if you want to do that, you can, and I'll be proud of you. I know that if I'm proud of you, no one will care, but I care, and yeah, I'm just making this worse for myself. Anyways, visit my site if you have any questions or if you want to see original content, and as always, like, subscribe for more videos, and peace out.